Alf Sotopondruf El Pandru Kuperna, divine guidance, ifo sondrufu, alokui sefer lan, darawan, ifo pandrusu.
Hi, I'm Patricia McNair, your host of Divine Guidance with Patricia. If you are bursting to embrace and strengthen your connection to your divine guidance, your whole being, this is the show for you. Join me the first and third Wednesday of the month at 9 a.m. Pacific on transformationtalkradio.com. Are you ready to discover the amazing gift of the universe that is you? On Divine Guidance with Patricia, Spirit and I will trigger you to embrace and validate the light that you are. On my show, I will bring you thought-provoking, inspiring messages designed to ignite a spark of spiritual awareness, the first step to becoming a whole being. Join me on Divine Guidance with Patricia and discover your gifts and awaken your true sense of self to embrace and empower your spiritual, mental, and emotional well-being. Divine Guidance with Patricia starts now. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Divine Guidance with Patricia. You know, every time I have an amazing guest, I can hardly contain my energy and my excitement. I tell you what, though, the last month and a half has been absolutely off the charts. Energy, gateways, portals, life in general. We've had a lot of forest fires here in Nova Scotia. We've had severe thunderstorms. We've had power interruptions. I've had technical issues with my website, my emails. But guess what? We got through it. Here we are. So during that process, my guest has been very patient with me because we were supposed to air this show a couple weeks ago. So I give my apologies to my followers and to TTR because it's been a little bit hectic, but Patricia's here. Here we go. So I'd like to introduce my guest. When I was asked if this gentleman would like to be on my show, I went and researched him. And when I opened up his, he doesn't even know this because we haven't talked. So when I opened up his website, I felt tingles all around my shoulders. And then it went into like a healing helix all the way up to my crown and out. So I knew without a doubt that this being was absolutely tapped into Creator Source, absolutely divinely here to present and to give things to all of us. So without any further delay, I'd like to introduce you to Mr. William Linville. Hello, William. How are you?
Well, I am great, Miss Patricia, and thank you so much for having us today. This is truly such an honor, such a blast, and there's so much fun as all.
So, now for the audience, I'm going to let the audience know. We'll get into it a little bit deeper. But you are the author of two beautiful books, Living in a Body on a Planet. Yes. And the other one is Relationships with Everything and Everyone. Now that's a full scope topic, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, and you have a course coming up, which is coming up around the 9th, I believe, into October. And that is Expanding Your Presence.
Yeah, wow. It starts on the 9th through November 18th. It's going to be a 3-month program, and it's a program of it's called Expanding Your Presence course, and we're covering a lot of different topics from intimate, loving relationships of the heart, and for one, welcoming them in, for two, not settling for anything less, and then how to alchemize fear and lack into light and abundance, and remembering waking up to you as the facet of creator that you are, and then assisting you with different exercises, walking you through different levels of facilitation, activations, amplifications of clearing out all misperceptions and misperceptions, beliefs, emotions, all that stuff that's kept you, like really have kept the blinders over you, that have kept you from being less than yourself, and then that's kept you from being able to really reclaim your natural birthrights with, and have kept your heart level closed, that's kept you living from your carnal levels, the solar plexus, creator chakra vortex, the root chakra vortex down, rather than living from your heart, your throat, your third eye, your crown, and marrying your higher levels through the lower levels, purifying, divinitizing them, and really reintegrating them as your natural birthright to enjoy all realms of creation, and also becoming more awake to where you can watch everything happening outside and around you, no longer going into victimizerhood, and no longer being controlled by the actions, reactions of others, not even from the internalized perceptions, belief systems, the subconscious, the underlying emotional calibrational lattice work that's held you hostage and had you become very, very confused that you are the beliefs, you are the thoughts, rather than who you really are, and then collapsing all of the misperceptions about the ego and all the hold that has had be upon you, and really assisting you to wake up, re-embody yourself as that facet of creator that you are, and then letting all these old incarnational realms from first separation to now start to die off, and removing all entities, energies, thought forms, and vows, contracts, and agreements, implants, devices, interferences, influences that have kept you from your angelic, archangelic, ascended host realms, and all these levels that have really kept you dualized and polarized and in a state of survival, and bringing you full circle into you, to where you can receive more love, feel more love, express the radiant presence throughout your day, and becoming more awake and more integrated to become okay with what is now, lighting up, brightening up, animating, radiating as who you are now, no longer from the family monad, no longer from culture, color, creeds. It's not to deny them, it's just no longer being affected by them.
Wow. You know what, William? I'm sitting here with a huge smile on my face, because I don't know if you know, but I'm a born seer.
Mm-hmm.
And so as you're eloquently bringing forward your light being, your whole being is coming in and through your channeling it so fluidly. It's very rare to see. It's very rare to be in that presence. So I'm very honored, and I am very much aware of how the channeling was coming through you, the energies, the different rays of consciousness that were actually eloquent in what you were saying. I want to take your course just to sit in that presence.
Oh, bring it on. You're always welcome. Anyone.
All right. So there was something that happened for you. We'll just get into a couple little more details about you.
Okay, perfect.
And so what I'd like to start with is I'd just like to let the audience know a couple things, and you and I'll go through them right after a quick break. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay. So the things that I would like to discuss after the break is the surgery in 1996 and what exactly that experience was for you.
Okay.
And also you present you say that you are presented by others' light realms. So I'd like to talk about that a little bit. And then what is your knowing of the creator? I am so excited to know that. I'll tell you why. Because we're all in oneness. And in meeting you, William, I'm meeting that part of oneness that I didn't carry in this lifetime. And I'm so excited to get to know that part of the oneness. I'm kind of nosy and excited and passionate. So that's my look on oneness and who we all are together. So I guess Sierra is going to take us into our first break. And when we come back, we're going to have a loaded section of all of that.
Oh, bring it on.
Yes. Welcome back to Divine Guidance with Patricia and William today. All right. Now I was reading in your website, which is williamlinville.com. Easy to remember, and I advise everyone to take a look at it. This is chock full of beautiful energy and information. So in there, what intrigued me the most was the surgery in 1996. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience and what transpired for you, William?
Yeah, what occurred, it actually started 6 months prior, 6 months plus. What my bride and I, my angel, called the old Will, is that he had been trying and wanting for many years to leave the planet. And so his body became over 425 pounds, and he elected, and we started connecting between 6 and 9 months prior to him going into the gastric bypass surgery in San Diego, California. But he, over the last 6 months that he was in a body on a planet, he ended up undergoing a lot of things, such as reaching, like he had a knowing in his own uniqueness that he wasn't going to come out of that surgery. So he started having completion with his partner, his offsprings, his siblings, his family monad, parents, and on and on and on, and friends. And so he went through his own kind of wrap up in his own way. And then, lo and behold, the surgery took place, and he, in his own way, reached a certain level of completion for himself, knowing that he wasn't coming out. And then, he got the IVs, went through prep, went onto the surgery table, went to sleep. And during the procedure, his soul, more his being, his presence, ended up leaving the planet during the procedure. And I came in as he moved out, made a full transition, which means he went through the astral planes. He went through the mass collective, the astral planes, made a full transition into source consciousness, went through his halls of honor, celebration, and gathered his rungs and tones. Now, via that agreement, the agreement was that I would take on, at that time, all of his vows, contracts, and agreements. I would take on all of his issues. I would take on all of his physical, mental, emotional issues and debris. I would take on the place and the space that he played in the family monad, the partnership, on and on and on. And so therefore, I came into the body with all of that stamp, signed, sealed, delivered. the next thing that I remember is, basically metaphorically giving each other a high five, namaste, because we'd been connecting during his last 6 months, communicating, connecting, and I was going through preparations. He was going through preparations, and I was going through the caves of creation to walk into this body. He was prepping vibratorily to step out. And then I woke up on the 7th floor at Mercy Hospital in San Diego, California, at about 3:58 p.m. At the most beautiful, first ever, but most beautiful sunset over, I believe it would be Mission Beach, Ocean Beach. Never seen one quite like it. It was orange, it was pink, a few clouds that were very highlighted. It looked kind of like fire with like gold and silver hue around them. And that's where my journey began.
Wow.
So his family would come into the room, his partner, offsprings. I knew who they were as far as what parts they played. I had the memory of them that came with the body. The only thing that was missing was like the man-made emotional hooks, connections, trauma dramas, the angst. I was aware one thing led to another, one unfolded after another. Yeah, all the issues in the body, all the issues in his mind, all of his issues through his subconscious, all of his soul issues, vows, contracts, and agreements. But step by step, the body started shutting down after that day. So one system shut down, another system shut down, and ended up having total, complete, extreme pain to where if the wind blew or even touched the hair on the body, it would be beyond unbearable extreme pain. And then I got a Jersey pain pump and sent to an experimental hospital, put in a wheelchair for 2.5 years. The pump scrambled the brain. So I would say hello 4 or 5 times, 3 to 5 times without even realizing I said it once. And so that got fried from an experimental pain medicine from some poisonous snail down in, I think, South Africa or something like that. They made it into experimental pain derivative. And then going through cardiac arrest, and then one organ after another shut down. And the last thing I was told was, I was given the death sentence like 8 times. There's nothing more we can do. Get your affairs in order. Until eventually it was said that the last thing to go was either going to be my heart or my lungs. And there was nothing else that could be done.
So
yeah, go ahead.
Can we take a look at this? Because as you're, and that sounds like it was an extreme experience on every cellular level of the body. So when still, if I may, what I'm hearing is that what you bring forward, as in your courses and your books and things, you actually had that living experience yourself by coming into this body in this form. And so you actually had that experience physically, soully, energetically, so that you can give this information out now. What a divine blessing to go through that, even though it was traumatic. I've gone through cancer 4 times over 12 years, and each time was a different way that I had to take responsibility for all my cellular levels. So now people can try and dance around when they need healing or they're asking for healing. But the thing is, they do 90% of the healing themselves, not us. And so dancing around trying to get out of healing can be quite a unique experience to have with another individual. So good on you. And also what I was getting is that you brought a lot of creator source, more so than what the body was used to. So that also had a reaction in form. Would that be correct?
Now say that last part again.
You brought a lot more creator essence into this physical form than what the physical form was able to channel and regulate with at first. Would that be
that's a great way to put it. And what happened is, like, one system after another system, they all had to be purged, purified, divinitized. But first, it wasn't at the time, I wasn't a privy to it, but later on, it started showing up, unveiling itself. And when it finally unveiled itself, it was that the cause to core, the record, and the effect of all those experiences that have been stored in the mind, the body, and the soul needed to go through a purification, divination, all the misperceptions that the old will had made, including his anger and hatred towards God due to his upbringing and getting booted out of church and blah, blah, blah. That all exasperated he figured, well, he looked at the church like God, so he figured God turned its back, so he went to the other side. Not like wearing hats and pitchforks or anything, but so he went to the other side saying, well, I'm going to be as bad as I can. You might as well enjoy the ride if I'm going to burn up at the big fireplace and the big barbecue. So he got into all kinds of funky stuff. But then what happened was all that stuff needed to be dissolved, purified, neutralized. And I had the pleasure of getting to go through it, experience, see it, and reveal it, and expose it for what it is.
Yes,
on my own journey.
Okay, we're going to come back right after this break with some more. I mean, I'm just captivated by your story, and I'm really enjoying our sharing. So, Sierra, take us to break, and we'll be right back. Thank you. That flute music gets me every time. Okay, so we're back with William, and William and I could probably do 50,000 shows and just discover the universal laws and love and language and energies between us. But right now, because we only have an hour show, I want to get into a little bit about your books, William. And I'm wondering, Sierra, I think you've got the information there. If you can pull up Living in a Body on a Planet. And basically, after what you just shared and the experiences that you went through, now I can understand about this book and why you wrote it. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, Living in a Body on a Planet and your divine abilities, and your innate abilities. It's a book it's like a book at all sorts of different vibrational frequencies that you begin and continue to wake up, accelerate in vibrational frequencies, but that you receive it and receive so many different unique activations, amplifications, and so many different levels in so many different ways that go through your pineal pituitary gland, through the master cell, through the human genome, to really turn on your gland of remembering. And then remembering as well as accessing and activating your light body, and also activating where within yourself where things went a little bit sidetracked, and where you start to remember who you are, but then beyond remembering who you are, starting to come into alignment within yourself as yourself. It's kind of like, but when I bring up the word integrity, there's like quadrillions upon billions, I might as well call it infinite definitions of integrity. There's humanity's integrity, there's religion's integrity, there's blah, blah, blah integrity. But when does it come back to full circle to you and the integrity of your heart? Integrity is not a rule book. It's not something you can write down on paper. We can do the 10 commitments, on and on and on, but when we really come to integrity, is to bring your consciousness through your heart before you pick a direction or make a decision. You go from your heart, connect with your solar plexus. And when you connect with your solar plexus, is it tightening up? Is it relaxed? Is it open? Now, if it's tightening up like a fist, yeah, for yourself personally, that would be out of integrity direction. So let's undecide that direction. Let's look at all of our other options. Let's pick another direction. If your solar plexus is relaxed, now that direction's in your highest and best good. That's your backup plan, being in a body on a planet of discernment, where you're always on track. I don't care if you're deaf, dumb, blind, and you cannot see a bat in the middle of the daytime. Psychically, this is your backup system that everyone has. Everyone has innate abilities, but you see, it's like I'm going to see something, or Patricia's going to see something. We're going to be presented with all this stuff, angelic, archangelic, ascended host realms. We're going to see the future. We're going to see the past. We're going to see right now. We're going to see eternity, beyond, beyond, beyond. But you see, you're going to see the same thing, but you're going to see something totally different because of your uniqueness. It's going to show differently for you. Does that mean it's wrong? Of course not. It means it's presenting for you in a way that you can understand due to where you're at in a body on a planet, avoiding this little thing called insanity. You're watching all around you, because what good is, I see a point of little white coats and the little white ambulance coming to pick you up. I find it kind of ironic how you're in a straitjacket where you're always hugging yourself, talking about self-love, right? Forced upon you.
You should have started to love yourself before that, William. Hey?
Yeah, I'm telling you, now you don't have a choice. You're always hugging yourself. But you see, those abilities are going to grow. But the biggest key is when you start to go with them, that's where you're going to build the trust in them. The trust is going to build into you going with them more. Logically, it's not going to make a lot of sense at times. When you go with it, you're going to find all new different outcomes, but beneficial outcomes.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone says think outside the box. At the same token, when you reach the ability, and it has very little to do with spirituality, religion, or your upbringing, but there's a connection moment when and knowing is an energy of itself, when you know that you have the right and responsibility for your choices, for your being, to present and to know who you are. You have that right and responsibility. When that happens, you can't undo it. It's done, yep. Isn't it?
Yeah. And then you brought up a great point, thinking outside the box. And my question's always been, who created the box and where did the box come from in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
It's not you. So it's considered, quote, i.e. normal, but you can look up normal in a dictionary and there's no definition, because it's one of those things that normal is like all these sheep's going off a cliff and you just put your head down and mimic everyone else. But that's not you. That's just mimicking.
Wouldn't have a picture of me in the dictionary beside normal, or you might have.
Exactly.
All right, let's take a look at what's your divine purpose, and what is your divine purpose, because you chose to come into form on this planet at this time, William. And this is an amazing time to be here on this beautiful planet. This is one of the most extraordinary times known to all the races. We're talking mankind, trees, animals, everything, every single thing. And especially the beautiful planet we live upon, who, in my knowing, is a living breathing herself.
Yeah.
So we're not just living on this ball or flat or whatever one you want to say, dancing around with no connection to the planet that we chose to be in form on this planet. So that's why I liked your name for your book, because we are in form on a planet who is, to my knowing, finally making the decision for herself to be spirit in form.
Yeah. And, if we can all look at everything, even a rock, everything is live consciousness. Everything is particles of consciousness. So the earth is a being within itself. You are a being within yourself. Your body is a being within itself. A thought is a being within itself. Everything is alive. Even, it's kind of like many perceive live food, dead food. Well, it's interesting how dead food is still consciousness. Live food is still consciousness. Now, they're all vibrating at a different frequency, obviously. But at the same time, if you could just open yourself to that point and realize within yourself, everything is live consciousness. Consciousness cannot die. It can only change form. Now, then there's energy. That's that consciousness given a direction. That's what you call energy work. Now, when we go here into purposes, like when I look at when I originally came in, my first purpose was to clear out the old will debris, clear out the soul level of consciousness, supersede, go beyond the soul level into the marriage of the higher and the lower. So what that means is the higher vibrating parts of myself, my light bodies, my creator consciousness, speeding up the body to such a rate to welcome in my light bodies, my creator consciousness, to marry with the physical embodiment. Now, many share they just want the lights to come on, blah, blah, blah. Well, that would create an issue. The body, number one, would explode. Number two, you would go insane because your mind could not handle such a download like that. It would go totally berserk. Then you would just be slobbering if your body didn't explode. And it's kind of like, well, what's the point? Now, from here, then it was to use my body as an instrument and a conduit. So step number one was to let the body rebuild, regenerate, and turn the corner. And then number two was to start claiming the body as my body, not a gene, not genetic, not a part of someone else's gene pool, not part of someone else's molecules, not part of when this happens, that happens, just like everyone else down that line, this is going to happen. No, this is my body, and I alone have the only say so over this body and how this functions or doesn't.
Exactly right. Mm-hmm.
If it matches everyone else, leaves the planet at 38, okay, well, it leaves the body at planet 38. But also realizing that karma is out. Karma ended way back in 87-ish, going into between 87, 89-ish. That grid system collapsed. Now a lot of dear ones are still waking up from the echoes, wash, rinse, repeat of their versions of normalcy and what they were taught, and then they were taught, that they were taught. And
yes, that could be a whole show in itself, William. Yeah, absolutely. It's my knowing that the karmatic grid lines collapse when this planet herself decided to break the contract with the human race.
Exactly.
Oh, thank you. No one else has ever validated that. Thank you. And we're going to take.
No, go ahead.
Sorry. No, you go ahead.
Oh, then it was designed that Merva, that was heading for this planet, to turn the plates over for the 8th time, clear the decks, wipe out humanity, start over for the 8th time, due to the consciousness rising to such a degree, it had shifted magnetics to where the asteroid belt missed us, which is huge. Now the critical mass has been crossed. What that means is enough dear ones are waking up to where the planet, you're expanding, the planet's expanding. The planet's expanding, you're expanding. You're integrating, amplifying. The planet is integrating, amplifying. So we're playing as a tag team, not to destroy the planet or have the planet destroy itself. As we're walking our walk, the planet's going to expand even further.
Well, sometimes people put the horse before the cart, and it can be both ways. So I also see that Earth taking her right and responsibility for her divine consciousness connection with this interstellar galaxy and universe has led her. She's going for her divine ascension in her vessel. Exactly. And we have the right to do that with us. But in so doing, some of the filters that used to alleviate us from having to generate and rise in frequency with the planet, those filters are gone now. Yeah. So now we have the actuality that if you want to be here, you have to consciously expand with the planet. Yeah. And so
the placeholders are gone too.
Yes. Yeah. So I think Sierra just gave us a message that we're getting really close to the end. So I don't think we're going to take a break. I think we're going to just keep going, and I love that.
But that went way too quick.
I know an hour goes by fast. I will have you back, no doubt, William. So I want to give you a few minutes to talk about expanding your presence and the new course that you have coming up, and give some details. And then I would like for you to give a message to the audience. And then I guess we'll have to say so long for now.
Okay. Well, through this course, it goes on for 3 linear months. It starts on the 9th of September and it ends on the 18th of November. And the first month is embracing and becoming yourself as creator incarnate. Month number 2, reclaiming yourself, resolving and dissolving misperceptions of yourself. And then the 3rd month, accessing and connecting with your higher levels in your higher self, your guidance realms, and your knowingness. And this is a comprehensive course that's over 25 hours of live content and includes the best of our library, practical practices, Q&A, and we've created these things called triads where we will, and this is totally up to you to join the triad or not. We always leave it up to you, but we encourage it. So you'll be partnered up with 2 other dear ones, and we've created these things called Zoom rooms. So if you feel like you're missing something, you're not getting something, you talk it over with the other dear ones and see where they're at with it all. And then you have a time to address whatever you perceive that you're not getting. And there are also dear ones, because there's a lot of dear ones awake, a lot of dear ones on their journey, that perceive and feel very alone. Now, from here, part of the triads is so that ideally you make camaraderies that you stay in contact with, that because any way you look at it, it's all these other facets of creator that you're connecting with to complement one another, and not turning it into a processing station, or we're not turning these triads into like, mini workshops. They're there to complement one another, to share your brilliance, their brilliance, to not fix anything with each other, because you're not broken. That's a total misperception in itself. You're perfect as you are. Now there may be stuff that you wish to let go of, great. But that's during this course, we're looking at healing, regenerating, restoring, re-amplifying, and also reactivating, and going through the activation of the DNA, youth vitality chromosomes, the telomere, and then opening your body more and more as a clear and perfect conduit of divine love and truth, which brings in, which goes beyond body, mind, and spirit, goes beyond spirit, soul, and form. So we're going beyond the whole Trinity into you as spirit or creator through the body as a clear and perfect conduit of divine love and truth. And then starting to explore all the different levels of your emotional age of capacities, the areas that you, whether it be the 3rd trimester in the womb, when you came into the body, all the way to now, but usually it's about age 8, where you've just made all these lifelong decisions through the sub-psyche of what's real, not real, true, not true. And it's kind of bizarre, because it's just where you've commanded everything to be a certain way, but with still the mind of an infant. Even in the womb, you're lovable, not lovable, wantable, blah, blah, blah. And you've made decisions about your finances, you've made decisions about relationships, and you just got to grin and bear it. You've made all these decisions that you keep repeating, even though your body may be 96 now. They were made at like age 5. And you're wondering, well, why does this keep going on? And it's like, yeah, I won the lottery. And then all of a sudden I get in a car accident and my ticket, that's the only thing that lit on fire. So it's like, why does this keep occurring? Why can't I just succeed? Which is your natural birthright. And getting rid of these blockages that have been reoccurring, going beyond patterns of repetition, although we will address those, it's getting into the cause core reckoning effect of what is holding you hostage. And so much more. Oh, bless you. And so much more.
Sounds great. Well, an hour's gone by really, really quick. William, I have thoroughly enjoyed having you as a guest and would love to have you back again. Would actually like, as I mentioned before, to connect with you on Zoom and just have some interstellar conversations.
Absolutely.
I'm sure the audience has absolutely adored your information and your sharing. Look for William at williamlinville.com. Take a look at some of his information. We have about 3 minutes.
Okay.
Before I hand it over to you, I would just like to tell my audience that I'm working on that course that I mentioned before. It's going to be a 5-point course. It's on the 4 conscious bodies that you are automatically connected to when you come in form. And so this is why children, young ones, they all know about the universe if we listen to them. And then we feel like we need to go searching for our spirituality, for our soul message, for our information. And we spend a lifetime going around all these knowledgeable people who've written beautiful books about what spirituality actually is, which it's not. So the biggest lie, the biggest illusion is that you're not automatically connected. Creator would not allow you or wish for you to come into this form on this planet without all that you are. So why spend a lifetime trying to find it? Take a look in this course that I'm going to give. It shows you what 4 conscious bodies, how to remember and know and consistently remind yourself of those 4 conscious bodies and allow your information to come in and through automatic, which will boost and purge and allow you to be who you truly are. So I'm going to hand it over to you, William. Thank you again for being on my show. And I'll leave you to say a message to whoever, however.
And thank you. It's been such an honor. I look forward to doing it again soon. And from here, the biggest thing that's presenting is for everyone to take a breath, like a real breath. Inhale through your nose for the count of 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever best suits you. Inhale all the way down to below your diaphragm. Hold for the same number that you inhaled. And now, as you exhale, just exhaling all the buildup, all the stressors, all the angst that you've taken to be so real and so serious and so true about yourself, about the world, about hypothetical realities, others' realities, about the treatment you've endured, good, bad, and indifferent. And let's just right now welcome in the truth of yourself, that you are loved, you're loving, you're lovable, because at the very core of your being, at the very core of each and every nucleus of every cell and every molecule, every sub-molecule and subatom, there is love, there is light, there is you. You that's holding the body, the submolecules, the subatoms, that's magnetically holding the atoms, magnetically holding the submolecules to the molecules, to the cells, to each and every body, to every particle of the miles between each and every level of even the most minuscule part of the largest organ of the body, the skin. There's like literally eternity between each and every skin follicle. Let's just fill it up with you. Let's welcome it up, or shall I say welcome you up, to fill your body, your mind, your world. Let's welcome you up and welcome you forth from you through the soul level, through the sub-psyche, through the emotional calibrational lattice work, through the conscious mind, through the organs, through the brain, through the back of the brain, the midbrain, the frontal lobe of the brain, through all of your senses, through all of your hypersenses.
Through all that you are.
Absolutely.
What's important is you are, right?
Exactly.
Thank you, William. Thank you, Sierra, for being here with us today and helping everything go smoothly. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I'll see you next time on Divine Guidance with Patricia. Thank you for listening to Divine Guidance with Patricia on TransformationTalkRadio.com with me, Patricia McNair. Tune in next time to explore more challenges that can help you achieve your whole being. I know we are all capable of truly being whole, and with a little empowerment, anyone can access an entire universe of knowing that is just waiting to be explored. For more information about me and my services, visit divineguidance.earth. That's divineguidance.earth. See you next time, where together we focus on solutions for the whole being.